Welcome back to another after battle ranked commentary video. Now this battle is kind of special because this guy, I'm fighting against this guy with, we'll call him 2, because this is his first one. He asks, I'm thinking, so let's look at my spawn real quick before I get into it. As you see, I have a huge number of fish. Look at all this fish. 500 food each. And to make matters even better, look at all these cows right here. And actually, real quick, it's too quiet. Real quick, look at all these cows. Look at just all these cows, all this deer. It's just amazing. Like this is like every stone rush warrior. Like if you're stone warrior rushing, that's like the dream. Who doesn't want all this? And best part about it, all the gators were over here, and the fish were over here. So I'm like, yeah, this couldn't be any better than what I have. Now first I have trouble finding this dude because I have no idea where he is. Like I'm sitting here like I sent my scout all the way over here. I'm like, where the hell is he? He's over here, and I don't realize until later. And we're gonna skip time a little bit. And he asked, yeah, I said hi. We both said hi to each other, and he asked for a sea war, and that's the main plot of this video. I asked for sea war. Now I'm debating on whether or not I should just accept this because I want a good fight, but then again I was kind of bored when I was playing this. I'm like, because I was just grinding, trying to get higher in the ranks. So I was just grinding up the rank, up the ladder. I'm like, I can't let this opportunity pass. But like, I was looking at where I was. I'm like, let's have a little bit of excitement. I agreed to his terms of a sea war. I didn't want to fight a sea war, but like looking at it, I'm like, I couldn't find him, and I didn't know what to do, and like the opportunity was just too good, so I debated like for like a good 20 minutes, and as you see right here, it's only to the 4-minute marks. I said, okay, deal. I said standard fight at sea. He says okay, and that's where it kind of just stops right here. So I don't Stone Warrior rush him. I do get Stone Warriors, but the only reason is because I had debated on what I wanted to do, and there was also wild animals here, which I wanted to get rid of. And as you see, I have way more resources than he does. I have all of this. All of this. You can't, like, and then he just has this. Like, he can't even get over here, too. Yeah, he can't even get over here. It's just all just being blocked off. So I built a wall here, and I was planning on building, I'm sorry, I didn't build a wall here. I built a wall here. I wanted to build a wall here, but as you can see, my workers died, and so my stone warriors. Now I planned to just block him in, but then I was like, you know what, it'll be too much trouble to block him in. The wall is, a bit too close, and you see he lost a lot of workers to wild animals. He's losing a lot of shit to wild animals actually in the beginning. Two boats and like a group of workers, yeah, that's not good. So speed up time, I get a good lot of docks set up. And now here's the thing though, this was the best location. Like my location was far greater than his was. 2 reasons. One was because I had this cove right here. In order for him to get to my docks, he had to come here, and I had a good sized military. I had or here it is. I had a bunch of archers here. And also, so I've seen this strategy before also too. So I decided to build a lot of wall stubs. I didn't want to build like one straight wall because it would have been pointless. But I built a bunch of wall stubs to keep the navy out. Also, and again, I double layer just in case he tried something. It's receive time. I build the wall subs, so thus protecting my coastline. Because here's the thing, I knew he went Asia, and I honestly debated. I'm like, should I go East Asia on this? I could just spam junk ships out. And I was like, nah, let's go. I went Europe instead. I also went, Western Europe because I want to go Great Britain. Finished building the wall subs, as you can see. Also, I wanted to try something out real quick. I think I built it here, right here. So I wanted to try this out real quick. I wanted to make an area so that way I can spam out ships here, and then build a gate here, and then kind of like let them go through. And you'll see it later. Also, yeah, I sent in these ships in. He sends in the junk ships, and as you can see, yeah, there was no way he was getting through. Now, luckily I had longbowmen. Now these longbowmen, these longbowmen were the right decision. I also got some galleys. I said, yeah, I said you ain't breaking through this. Because he wasn't. He was not breaking this. This is a fortress. Or I'm sorry, it's like basically a sea fortress. Like, you cannot bust through this. I don't care who you are or what you get. Nothing Asia has, unless he goes turtle ships, but that is not till late medieval. Unless he gets turtle ships to bust through this, nothing he has can get through my wall. Get through this. Also, I'm gonna go ahead and put more docks. I realize, like, as I'm going on, I'm gonna need more docks, especially for my fishing boats, because I was relying heavily on the fishing boats for food, and they weren't. And they were just traveling too far. Like the cove I had, I only had 500 food. It only has 500 food for the small fish, and that large fish have 1,000. So it would have taken the boats way easier to like burn through these smaller fish. But besides that, I finally go ahead and launch the attack. He goes, I don't know too much about the English. Yeah. So I send in the galleys. I was trying to go for like the fishing boats or the dock at first, but then I just went ahead and went straight for the junk ships. I ended up losing a lot of my ships. I think I got a few fish. I think I got one fishing boat. I didn't get anything. I just wasted all my galleys there. See, I have this gap here, but don't worry, I fill in the gap later. Speed up time a little bit because it's kind of boring. It's just me kind of like grinding a little bit. Here's the thing. I could have attacked him from land and this fight would have been over with. Look, he has nothing but ports. Nothing but ports. And everything you can... I think... Let me check his resources. Yeah, his economy is doing great. 7,000 metal. And he's only in what? First medieval? Early medieval? 7,000 metals, 2,000, 5,000 food. Yeah, he is just bowling. Meanwhile, I'm struggling with resources. But then again, I was spending far more than he was. I was spending far more resources. I was trying to, get them. I had so many more docks. Or I was just building. I'm sorry, he had more docks, but I was building far. I was constantly building. I was building a wall. I had to come over here to get more trees. Keep going. And as you see, he does the same thing as before. He builds gates. Now here's the thing. Something I learned is that because Eastern Asia is has a lot more thinner ships, they can easily get through the gates, whereas mine are a lot larger and couldn't get through the gates. And right here, he launches his attack, but again, yeah, these are junk ships. What are junk ships going to do to like Western European walls? And I just like decimate his ships because I have, you know, longbowmen. And he pulls back. And also, real quick, I ended up getting the royal shooting range because I wanted to, you know, I don't normally get the royal ones, but I wanted to see if there was any upgrades I could have gotten or something like that. Yeah, never get the royal anything when it comes to Western Europe. For the love of God, like unless you're going like the only good units I've seen in the royals are the heavy units. Oh, okay, hold on. So right here, he says, "What happened to Seawar?" Look what he's building. Look what he's building. He's building a rocket cannon, and I just pull back. And I was like, I realized this, and I'm like, yeah, no, hell to the no. I wasn't gonna let him try. I said, "What happened to Seawar?" And he goes, question mark, and I'm like, look at this. He's building fucking rocket cannons. What? And at this point, when he does this, I basically go say, you know what? All bets are off. You broke the treaty first. If he's watching this, you broke the treaty first. Because he tells me I'm a liar and that I broke and that I wasn't doing it right. I'm like, he was trying to build rocket cannons. And look, he's saying sea war. I'm like, yeah, not land war. I'm like sitting there like, yeah, no. I tried to like hold up my end of the bargain. I said, why are you building siege then? And you could argue, it's like, well, why do you have archers then? I'm like, well, A, because why not? It's not like I'm attacking with the archers. I'm not going to his base and just bombarding his crap. But when you build rocket cannons outside of my territory, yeah, I'm not gonna. It's for the siege. I say sure. I'm not gonna allow rocket cannons to be built outside my territory. You shouldn't have built them over here or anything, but I'm not gonna like, you know, allow that to happen. Oh, and again, I launched another attack right here. He doesn't notice for the longest time, but I go straight for the ports. I mean, I don't really know what I could have done differently because I should have focused more on his navy, like take out the navy, then go for the ports, because even then, but it probably would have been better if I go straight for the ports instead, because here's the thing, he had warships, and those warships could get through the gates, and I was like, well, I'm kind of screwed. Not in terms of, not in terms because I was in trouble. Warships, again, they couldn't do anything. The turtle ships would have done something. The warships, the warships couldn't have done jack squat to me because I fortified myself in. But it was the fact that I couldn't do anything with like my galleys, so I was kind of like disappointed. So I'm like, oh well. And again, I could have just mass pikemen finished him off anytime. Literally anytime I could have just mass pikemen finish him off. Meanwhile, he could not do anything to me. Oh yeah, I had such trouble with wild animals. Like I tried to eliminate them, like, you know, in small parts, but like unless I took like my men just went like did a clean sweep to this like island right here, I would have been. It would have just been too much time. Like I should have done it way earlier because he didn't do anything. He barely fought back. But anyway, I decided to wisen up a little bit. I got some balloon towers. I was on my way to Britain. I was like, you know, what's this? 95% of the way to Britain. Just give a little bit of time. I get Britain. I ended up pumping a lot of crap into just did this. I ended up hurting a lot. Especially okay, I ended up hurting a lot in terms of my resources. Every time I transition. Now again, that's expected to hurt when you're transitioning. But for me, particularly because I had built so much stuff, it hurt even more. I built so many docks, so many resources. Like a lot of the stuff I didn't even need. Like I, I built some trebuchets here. I didn't need the trebuchets. I built some towers here. I didn't need the towers. There was nothing he had that could threaten me. Like the only thing I was concerned about was his port, but he never. I don't think he never notices the port. He never notices this ever. He never launches an attack into this. Had he launched an attack into this, I would have been screwed. Not because of anything he could have, again, because he didn't launch any attacks. Oh, I missed this. I'm sorry. I had 2 galleons and destroyed 2 docks, but all I did was destroy 2 docks. It was nothing special. But I realized he had turtle ships, and I'm thinking, okay, so he's finally wisened up and is gonna, attack with turtle ships. He could do it. Let me swap over to him real quick. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He doesn't have any more. Okay. So real quick, he doesn't have any more stone or wood, or materials. He has, stone mine. I don't know why he could. He complains that he has no more materials later on, but he has stone mines here. Like he's mad because I launched an attack to keep him out of my territory. Because this is my territory. Look, press alt. This is my territory. And he's like he gets mad later on, like because I technically I later on took some machine gunners. Because again, he broke the treaty first by building those rocket cannons about to bombard me. So I built some light machine gunners. And at first I'm like debating, I'm like, I let this slide for the longest time, but it got to a point where he gets to industrial. And I'm like sitting here like, yeah, I could just starve him, but at the same time, this is gonna take forever, and I don't want to this I was doing most of the work, as you can see. I take some more galleons, and I do heavy damage to this too. Okay, actually, maybe not as much as I thought I did. Yeah, I swap over and I try to destroy these fishing boats. Yeah, honestly, this whole every time he wouldn't engage, I was just sitting here waiting for the longest time. I'm thinking that each time he's gonna engage, but he's not. He never engages. Like you would think that someone would with this many ships would at least try to bombard the coast at least with the turtle ships, but he doesn't do anything throughout the entire fight. Now I guess you could say that he was kind of he's like there's no point because he had this. It was kind of like an impenetrable fortress with all these longbowmen, and it couldn't. And even if he does get the turtle ships, just in range, the longbowmen are just insane in terms of their range. I think the turtle ship has slightly longer range, but had I got longbow closer, it just. Oh, okay. He probably couldn't help. But anyway, so I took my light machine gunners and I kicked them out of my territory. I literally just this is my territory, get out. And let's swap over to real quick. Yeah, he doesn't have any wood or anything. And he tries to stop, and he does do quite a bit of damage to this little tiny force I had. You see, they just die, just a lot. They die fast, but not before they do quite a bit of damage. I think only 1-2 guys survive. I don't remember. Actually, no wait. Oh no, I pulled them back. That's right. What is this he's building? What the? I just realized he's building an anti-aircraft gun here. What? He gets mad because you know he calls me a liar later on. He also sends in like these Janissaries and Spearmen, which I guess he had early on. I guess he just had them. And they just, finish them off, I guess. Oh, at the same time, again, I also launched my attack of just like massive amounts of trawlers. And again, I launched another attack on land. My idea was to like launch a two-pronged attack, keep him busy. Also get a Dreadnought battleship up, finally. Get that squared away. Honestly, I was kind of bored throughout this engagement because it was fun just fighting straight sea, but he wasn't doing anything. I think it was due to the fact that he lacked a lot of the resources, especially since he went Asia. But he had the capability of doing so much more. He just did not. That's the thing. He had the ability. He just didn't do anything. I didn't attack him. His economy was fine. Oh yeah, I also had a bombardier ship over here, which did absolutely nothing. But he says, you're a liar. Like, yeah, no. Yeah, I'm not the liar here. You were about to siege me in with freaking rocket turrets, which I had no idea what he was gonna do about. What we're gonna use for. Again, he built another anti-aircraft. I don't know why he was building anti-aircraft. And I said, not really. I could have ended you so much sooner. And that was 100% true. I could have ended him anytime I wanted to. Literally anytime I wanted to. I could have just gone. He would have just been gone. These longbowmen themselves could have ended this whole engagement. I didn't have to do any of this. I purposely let him live for this long. I did nothing wrong. Anyway, I basically wipe out his navy. He doesn't do anything with the turtle ships or the warships that he has. I get annoyed with it. He doesn't use his navy at all. He goes in with the junk ships, and again the junk ships would have been smart, but I was smarter and I prepared. And even if he did manage to attack, even if I didn't build this, even if I didn't build any of this, the longbowmen themselves would have done most of the work. Again, I just kind of like the engagement kind of just ends like here. I go ahead, finish off his naval force. I didn't feel like destroying this wall, but you see, he right here, he just destroys everything he has. He destroys the gate, and I'm like, okay, so he's given up. He destroyed everything except his TC. So I go in. I get like a few rounds off before he quits. Let's see what he says. And here's the thing, I left real quick. After I took him out of here, I kind of just left I pulled back my soldiers towards the end, or towards kind of like the middle end, when he was complaining about it, because I didn't care anymore. Like, honestly, I just pulled them back. My navy would have just surround him and just finish him off. Now, I do believe that it could have been a lot different. Had maybe he spawned down here. And the reason I say that is because he would have had access to far more resources. He didn't utilize the resources that he had. Or actually, well, that's not entirely true. He had some stone deposits. He was really running low, but he didn't utilize anything. He didn't utilize his navy. He didn't utilize his resources appropriately. And he still had basic abstract. Again, I had Great Britain. That would have just wiped. I could have just, like, a single dreadnought would have just wiped him. Um, but also I had, you know, because it was a sea war, I focused everything again into my sea. I didn't focus anything. I had, you know, 3 barracks which I had previously I built before, and one of them I built because I wanted to test some stuff out. I just wanted to have fun with this match, and it was just so boring. Like it was fun to like look at, to try out, because it was just straight naval engagement. It was very little land fighting, but it when I'm sitting there like, are you gonna do anything for like what, an hour? I sat there for an hour waiting for him to do something, and here I am launching wave, which is like small. I actually like small raids against him with galleons and galleys, and he's not doing anything. I plan to get, you know, I also plan to get torpedo boats. Um, but I kind of like I just gave up on that because it wasn't it wasn't needed. But yeah, if you enjoy this video, leave a like, comment, and I will see you all next time.